Hey guys, I wanted to make this food prep video for you. I went shopping, I went to Aldi's, and you all have different meal plans, but there are staple foods that any of this will apply to many of you. It's going to be your basic food prep. If you've never prepped before, any of these basics, this is going to help you. I'm going to go through what I've got, and it's all just clean food. It's fresh vegetables, it's organic pasta, literally got all of this gluten-free. Bag of avocados, cherry tomatoes. I found this, it's edamame spaghetti. Really, really cool. It's got only 7 carbs total for 2 ounces and 24 grams of protein and only 3.5 grams of fat. So this is a very good pasta to use as a substitute. If you like edamame, that's awesome. So I loved that. I do have a client currently who likes chickpea pasta. It does have a little bit higher in carbs. It does have a lot of fiber in it. So what you do when you are calculating your net carbs is you take the total carbs. This says 51 for 1 cup. And the dietary fiber is 11. So it would be a total of 40 carbs. So 40 carbs are in this per cup of pasta and 19 grams of protein. So we've talked about protein that you guys need to have on a regular basis, on a daily, but more broken down into a per meal basis. It'll be anywhere between 20 to 24 grams of protein. So things like this are really great, but you have to calculate the carbs that this also has. This is not a source of protein. This is still a source of carbs that has protein in it. Just like peanut butter is in the fat category, that it has enough protein in it that you have to calculate and add that to your protein column if you're using that in a meal. We're going to get really good at this. Just 3 columns: your protein, your carbs, and your fats. Okay, and you're going to have your meal plans written so that you have ideas of what it is that you want to put together, and you can put together. But eventually you're going to be changing out your own proteins, you're going to be changing out your own fats, and you'll know how much of that fat you need to substitute for the fat that you have, or the carb. Is it a slow digesting carb, fast digesting carb, or a medium digesting carb? One of the biggest carbs that I put in is whole wheat pasta and sweet potato and oats. Those are my 3 main carbs that are just so clean, very high in fiber. If you've noticed maybe gut issues from the diet that you've had going on right now, this is going to make a humongous difference for you. Just getting these types of carbs in your diet. Don't be scared of carbs. Carbs are good for you. Carbs are what give you energy. Carbs are what help you grow muscle mass. It helps you recover from your workouts. All of this right here, I'll show you what I've got. Move that. I love this thing. All of this is fuel. I have zucchini. I have lean beef. I've got shrimp. Awesome shrimp. Love the mini cucumbers. They're just easy to prep. They come in this cute little bag. Egg whites, liquid egg whites. All of this is very good. I love this brown rice and quinoa penne pasta. My daughter loves penne pasta, so I get this often. And all of this was at Aldi's for under $100. Sorry, I don't have a camera guy. So it's all for under $100 that you'll probably get, I mean, a couple weeks of meals out of this if you do it right. So I'm boiling some water right now that you can just put in a pot, some water, and start burning. Muscle egg. We've already been introduced to muscle egg, so that is in some of your guys' meal plans. I think I wrote it in all of your meal plans. And so try it. It's pretty amazing. Don't let the word egg white freak you out. It's delicious. This is The chocolate protein, so good. You can put it straight in your coffee. I have iced coffee a lot of the time, and I'll just put it in as like a chocolate creamer and know that I've got a cup of protein in there. That equals 26 grams of protein. You might think that so protein intake, you should have 1 gram of protein per pound you weigh, typically. Okay, that's a good rule of thumb. There are exceptions to that rule. Okay, if you have an extreme amount of weight that you need to lose, we're not going to obviously use that number. We will choose a better number, a weight that you are, use your goal. So some of you are not here to lose weight, and that's okay. So, but our protein is our baseline. It is what we need in every single meal. 20 to 26 grams. If you can get more in, awesome. A lot of you think that your protein has to come from a meat. There's beef, there's lean beef, there's chicken tenders. Tenders is the leanest part, even leaner than the breast. There's shrimp. A couple I think I have written on your plan is tuna. That's a great source of protein. And I said, and egg whites. So if you put all of these things in your diet, you can eat all this in one day and get your protein in. And it's extremely important to be able to keep our lean muscle mass. So I am going to wait for my pot. So I showed you all of this, so you can get a lot of this good stuff. I'm gonna put it over here. I think I'll probably boil the chickpea penne. I think that's gonna be awesome. I'm gonna show you some of the tools that I have for prepping. This is old school, but you can get stuff like this on Amazon in 2 days. See these things right there? You just chop up the piece of vegetable that you want chopped into small pieces, and then you just do that. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna show you how easy it is to do all that. See, I would have this browning on the pan, on the pot, as well as my water boiling. So all of that, you just kind of are going to go from station to station. Primarily, you're going to be prepping your vegetables, okay? Peppers like this. This already comes like this, so you just need to throw, a lot of you, I've written like 4 or 5 cherry tomatoes in. Just comes like this, and it stays super fresh in this. So you don't really have to prep this. This you prep as you go, because avocado is one of those things that will brown as you go, but it's important you pick a good one. Or avocado, it's just one of those things you gotta make sure it's ripe. So this is a little hard. The color is good, the darker color. See, this one's kind of too green. That's still too green. This darker color, and then if I can press my thumb in it and it gives a little, that's a good, and it's soft, a little soft, then that's a good avocado to eat. So make sure that you're finding your avocado when you're at the grocery store. Just feel on all of them. I touch them all. And except for this, I had to pick up the bag. And sometimes I'll choose things that are ripe to be able to eat now, but I also know I'll choose one that'll be ripe in like 2 to 3 days. And I'll get kind of a 3 or 4 days as a progressive, how ripe they'll get over time. So I like to do that. Let me get a knife. I use a paring knife. I just use a little paring knife most of the time. But with this, I just cut through the sides and I get a piece off like that. I just take all of this white stuff out. And I toss that, okay? Then I cut in slices. And sometimes I leave it like this. If I'm doing like some sort of a burrito, I'll saute my peppers like this with my chicken and some seasoning. And it's great to have the same seasoning and it soften it a little bit. But if you don't want to do that, you can cut it in pieces. And I often like to put it through this guy and it goes right in the bottom. See that? Let me get the angle here. So it's small enough pieces. And you can just keep prepping that vegetable like that. And I'm telling you, food prep is so much more fun when you have the right tools. Okay, you've got to get a couple of tools. It's really important. A paring knife is a good one. Some cutting boards, a good one. Some sort of a vegetable thing, very good. I want to show you now. I'm going to prep that. So I'll just usually take that and throw that in my pan and prep all of that. Something else you'll want to need after you're done cooking everything is order food prep meal containers. You can get a set of 50 this size for, I think, $50 on Amazon. Super important. They're a great size, multiple compartments. It fits almost any meal that I have planned, it fits these. And so you're going to get a scale as well. Now the scale I have to weigh my food is really cool. I'm sure you can get it on Amazon. So you can put it right down here, and then whatever thing there, and it's zeroed out. Zero that out, and then you can weigh what you're doing, and it tells me what I've got, 31, 36. And you can weigh what you're doing just like that. And however big your plate is, you can, if it's a small plate, you go in. If it's a big plate, you go out, and it weighs it. So that's very helpful to have. It's just so pretty. It's so pretty when you food prep. It feels so good. It feels so good to have it all done. I'm gonna put some of this stuff. I already gave you the examples of this. You can get liquid egg whites. This is just plain. You can get it at Aldi's just fine. There was one other thing I wanted to show you that is helpful. Zucchini. How many times have you had zucchini? But it's a great staple. It's like fills you. It basically has no macro. It's just a great filler. I use it a lot with, like, if I season something with like Italian seasoning that day, like my pasta and my beef meal, I do that. So I have this really cool, and you can get stuff like this at Bed Bath & Beyond. It's just food dicing and slicing and shredding things. And it comes in a little kit. So all of these do different things. And here's my little safety thing so that I don't lop my finger off. So this is the one I like to use, and I'll show you what it does because it's my absolute favorite. So I just take the end of my zucchini and I get that little guy off. And then little by little, look how fast the zucchini is going down. Pretty amazing. Sometimes you gotta take the lid off, move it around. And this will make plenty, and it keeps really well. So that was a big zucchini. That was a big one. So what it makes are these little tiny, like, shredded zucchini. And whatever you put it with, I typically put it with some lean beef and the penne pasta with my with salt and pepper, some Italian seasoning. I throw that on a bed of this, and then I put my 3 to 4, whatever's written for you, of tomatoes. Sometimes I slice the tomatoes and I put it and I sprinkle it all on, or sometimes they're whole. It doesn't matter. I'm just giving you ideas of what you can do. So this is like my favorite way. Some people like to do the zucchini noodles. And if you have one of those little zucchini noodle makers, that would be really fun. I think it's important to really be excited about what you're eating, and how you prepare it is a huge part of that. So another little thing when it comes to asparagus, let me just tell you this. My mom taught me this. You bend it and wherever it naturally breaks is where it's supposed to break. So I just kind of get it. I think it's going to go more over here, but it doesn't. It goes down there. It will naturally break off where it needs to break off. And that's what I do when it comes to my asparagus. Now with asparagus, I'm not a fan of soggy. Sometimes I would saute it if I was making my meal fresh. But if I have to prep it and I have to even freeze it, I just put it in the prep container raw. So I might actually do one of these if it would fit better in my little compartment. So if it's better there, so I'd have maybe chicken and some of my sweet potato in here. Or my chicken, if it was smaller than my sweet potato amount, I would do my chicken here and my sweet potato here. And then I'm a mixer. I like mixing my food, but if you don't, these compartments are perfect. If you like all your food separate and not touching, these are perfect. So then I would take this and I would microwave it for 1 minute and 15 seconds in your average microwave power wattage. Sometimes it has to be more, sometimes it doesn't, but 1 minute and 15 seconds is about the perfect amount. Okay. So there's that prep. Okay. I get also the already cooked shrimp. Okay, then you don't have to worry about getting it raw and peeling it and dealing with it. I've heard so many times, a lot of people don't like dealing with raw meat or raw fish, and I get that. So it comes already cooked and frozen, and you can get that at Aldi's as well. I like using the bigger jumbo, but it tells you. And so you just take it out. And so it's all frozen like that. I would put it in a colander. Show you what a colander is. Put all my shrimp in the colander. I would almost do I would do this probably first, as I think of all the things, how much time it takes to do certain things. Like if you boil something, you water, you put that on first, then you tend to your other things of your plan. So this would be something that I probably would take to the sink and I would run cool water over it and just let it sit. This would not take long to soften up. And then you could take the little tails off and then you could weigh it. Preferably completely thawed, because I would think some of the water would make it way more. So I'm gonna spray it. And I say it's all thawed. I'm gonna zero out because I weighed my vegetables and that got to the certain amount. I'm gonna zero out my scale and I'm gonna put in my shrimp, and however much I get in grams goes in there. I got it. I'm gonna take this. Okay, there's one meal. What I would do is line up all your food prep containers. You got all your shrimp all over here. Do each one of your shrimp, or you could get a separate container. Sometimes I'll get a little bowl. I keep these. I'll get a little bowl and I'll weigh whatever I'm doing in this bowl separately, and then I'll just dump it, weigh it again, dump it, weigh it again, and dump it. Okay, whatever works for you, whatever makes sense to you, you do. But these are just ideas of what you can do. Okay, let me see. I love these cucumbers, these little mini cucumbers. I often make sure they're good. So I'll use this guy again. I'm gonna dump this in here. I love all this stuff. I would just make the zucchini raw too. And it gets cooked like when you nuke it. So I have a slicer. It just slices things thinly. These mini zucchini things or cucumber things are gold. It's nice and already kind of a small compact thing. So just don't lop off the tip of your finger. And if you have older kids or somebody there with you, they can do it. When you get low like that, just do this. Don't take the risk. It's not worth it. And then I just sometimes throw that in there. All these beautifully sliced. And what I'll do is I'll put this in apple cider vinegar and I'll soak it and pickle them. And then when I need something crunchy to snack on, I'll get my container of pickled cucumber, or I'll put it with other meals. This is what we call a free macro. It's a free macro. It is just to what you want the amount to be. You can go more with asparagus. A lot of you have written in some asparagus with your meals. If you want more stalks of asparagus, throw it in there. That's okay. That your body, you will not gain weight at all if you have more. And if you like the crunch, you like that vegetable, that's great. Now, carbs are a different story. Potatoes, a different story. So I did a video on sweet potato that took a little bit more time that I wasn't going to spend here, that I'll also attach to when I send this to you. Let's talk about chia seed. Mila is the best brand that you can get. It's micro slice. There are things you can get. You can get it in bulk at Mama Jean's or whatever store is close by, Whole Foods store close by, but the micro slice is the best. It has the most nutrients available to your body. So it's not ground up and it's not whole. So it's a good between consistency. I put this in 2 tablespoons every day. And what this does is it's a binder. So if you have gut issues, if you have trouble having a bowel movement every single day, this is gonna solve that. And I know it's weird to talk about bowel movements and all of that, but they're super important. And I don't know if you can remember the last time you had a good one, but they're gold. And so all of this food, all of this good fiber, you know, you can take fiber supplements, you can, but nothing is compared to getting it in your actual food. Your body just knows what to do with it. And you don't have cramping, you don't have bloating, you don't have adverse reactions to stuff like that. So I'm sure we're going to talk more about food prep, but those are just a couple of the things that I do. Oh, there was another one, the chicken. You don't, a lot of people don't like, it doesn't bother me, but handling raw chicken sometimes really bugs some people. And I get that, but I have a way around that too. Let me get some of this out. I want to show you. I want to show you how to purchase food that makes food prep easy. So this is oven roasted turkey. If I write turkey in your meal plan, this Never Any is a really good brand, and it's really not expensive. And it's such a great, no hormones, no antibiotics, vegetarian diet. It's a great, great source. So I wanted to show you that. But if you don't like to handle meat, it already comes in these chunks. This says it's for chicken breast meat for kebabs. Well, I don't care what it's for. It's already diced up for me, and it makes the cooking of it even more even. So you don't have a big piece over here, a really, really thick piece of chicken, and you're trying to saute it and it's still raw in the middle. I would normally just prep it for myself, but I wanted to show you that there is stuff that's already diced up for you. And then I also wanted to show you salmon. Okay, what an amazing thing of salmon. This is Atlantic salmon, and it is seasoned all ready for you. Mediterranean herb. All right. And we all know that salmon is good, high in good fat. So we would take that into consideration when we eat our salmon. It would already have 16 for 4 ounces of this. It has 16 grams of fat, but 4 ounces has 22 grams of protein. What a perfect amount. And it's already seasoned for you, Mediterranean style. So what my point is I just want you to find things and know that there are ways that you can get this stuff almost completely done for you. All you do is gotta cook it. So, and then this was also, I do have for some of you carb, low carb wraps. Some of them aren't low carb wraps, and we'd have to take into consideration. But what I wanted to show you was these are protein wraps. So if you're worried about, oh my gosh, I can't get all this protein in, there's so much you can do. There are great protein wraps. These are a 12 protein, 7 net carbs. So it's like a low carb tortilla. That's basically what a low carb tortilla would be. It's a red pepper hummus. I love that roasted red pepper. Then here is also just a regular protein wrap that's plain. And it has 12 grams of protein and only 7 net carbs as well. So I just wanted to point out a lot of these things because I don't want, there might be a lot of resistance to you guys. My dogs are starting to play. Girls, hey, not right now. That's life, right? I just don't want you guys to feel a lot of resistance in this area because this is kind of my area of expertise. I'm really, really good at this, and I'm really good at doing this with a busy life. It should not take you hours and hours and hours and hours to food prep, okay? These are not big meal plans. I'm easing you guys in pretty slow, and I want this variety of different food, good whole food in your diet, because I'm telling you, the way you're gonna feel, you're not gonna realize how bad you were feeling until you get this good, clean diet in you for a regular basis. So we will talk about it. Always reach out to me if you need any help knowing what to do or how to prep something. I know I didn't cover everything, but these are, when I went shopping, I looked at all of these and I'm thinking, this is how my brain thinks. It's just, oh my gosh, that would be so easy to prep. Oh my gosh, I could do that. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to get to that point where you're going to look at all this food and you're going to be like, oh, I could make this meal and that meal. It would have this much protein in it. And this could be my carbohydrate and protein meal. This could be my fat and protein meal. You're going to start making these choices all on your own. It's going to be second nature. And then eventually you won't have to use a scale. Always use a scale and use it after you cook the food. Don't ever weigh prior. Nothing raw, I mean, except vegetables, but you could do that either one. I'm talking about like pasta and chicken, beef, all the meats. You will weigh your egg whites, liquid egg whites, just as is. You don't have to cook them. Those don't really change. And then like your avocado, if I say half an avocado, I'm not super stickler on stuff like that. You don't have to weigh it. If it's a rather large avocado, we get to that when we get to that. But right now, just lean into the meal prepping. It's going to take a couple of weeks to feel like you're in the groove of it. But I promise you, it's well worth it. It's going to become second nature to you. And you're not even going to bat an eye at this. Okay, guys, I appreciate you watching, and we'll be in touch soon.